Hi everybody, it's Stephanie with Planning with Peanutty. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm actually in my journaling Bible and we're going to make a tool that I think will help with Bible journaling. Actually, I know it will help, but it will probably also help with other journaling and planning as well. And what I wanted to do is I want to journal about Esther in my journaling Bible. And this Come Follow Me program is the scripture study program I'm using right now. And it has these gorgeous paintings in here. And there is this beautiful painting of Esther that I want to put in the margin here of my Bible, my journaling Bible. And you can see I have a couple inches wide margin there. And I want to see if that painting will fit, but I'm not sure just by looking at it. And I don't really want to tear it out and cut it all up before I know for sure. So I grabbed a piece of cardboard. This was the bottom of a pack of cardstock, but you could probably use a cereal box or a cracker box or something like that just as well. It just needs to be bigger than your margin. So I measured the margin out, and I already did this. It is 8.5 inches by 2.5 inches. So I just need to cut out that space out of this piece of cardstock. So I already drew it on there. Now, I'm not exactly 100% sure that these are perfect right angles. You would have had to get out like your compass or protractor. The protractor, that's the one, to help you measure the 90-degree angles. But I just guessed, and I think it's going to be good enough. And then grabbing my cutting mat and my craft knife, I'm going to come in and cut out this box now. So I'm going to grab my ruler, grab my cutting knife, carefully using sharp objects. Make sure your fingers are back away on top of the ruler, and you don't have any fingers sticking out over the top. Because this one we do need to press nice and hard all the way through that layer of, this is not, I don't know if it's as thick as chipboard, but it's, you know, that thin cardboard. And we got to cut through a couple times, probably because my blade's getting a little dull. And for safety reasons, I should replace it. And I'm pressing nice and firm all the way down into my cutting mat, which it is a small cutting mat, but when I turn it on its angle there, it's long enough for this 8.5 inches. All right, and then the other side. And we're just cutting out our mask here. Yeah, so I'm showing you that it's almost too tall if I put the cutting mat straight up and down. So that's why we just tilt it, and now we have larger cutting surface. And I'm cutting a mask, but I'm going to keep both pieces. I'm going to keep both the window and the cutout piece, because they'll both be the perfect size. Yeah, there I'm showing you, make sure your finger's back behind the ruler, because you do not want to cut into your finger. Crafting's all fun and games until somebody has to go to the ER. So make sure no trips to the ER. We don't want that. So keep your fingers back. Put the lid on that. All right, so there's our window and our mask. So we're going to keep both of those pieces. And I think these are going to come in handy as we Bible journal to have, you know, a mask that's the exact size of that margin. So now I can bring that window over and see, is it still going to look nice if I cut her down to this small of a size? And I think it still does. I think we get her head and her hands in there. So I'm okay with that. So you could bring the mask back over, trace around that, but I think I'm actually going to keep the window and trace on the inside of the window just so I could get a nice clear view of exactly where I want to cut. Okay, so I just grabbed my pen and I'm just going to come in and mark. And then I was going to just mark the corners, but then I thought better of it. And you know what, let's go ahead and come in and draw the actual line all the way across, because I think I'm just going to use my pair of scissors. If I was using a paper trimmer, the points in the corners would be fine, but I think I'm just going to use a pair of scissors. All right, so I'm actually going to take the whole page out just so it'll be easier to cut. And so I'm just going to tear that page out, being careful that I don't tear back across this painting. And I love the Come Follow Me manuals. I always get a hard copy. They are available online for free. And I get a hard copy. I think it's only $2 or $3, but they have these gorgeous paintings in there that I really love to use, especially in my Bible journal. Okay, so now I'm going to come in and just connect those dots. All right, and now I'm just going to come in with my little sharp pair of scissors, carefully using sharp objects. Again, these do have a sharp point on them. And I'm just going to cut this out. And sorry, this is a little bit off frame. But there we go. And I cut it a little larger than necessary because I figure better a little bigger, glue it down, and then I can trim off any excess than too small and have the white space all the way around it. And now you can see it fits in that margin just perfectly. And I just think that's really beautiful. You could open up to the Book of Esther, and there is an artist's rendering of Esther. And I just think that's really pretty. So I'm just playing around with the fit there. And I'm going to stick my little Bible mat. Now I did make that mat from a Dollar Tree cutting mat. Over in the kitchen utensil section, there are those really thin cutting mats, if you've seen those. You get 2 of them in that pack for $1.25. And then you could trim it down to be any size you want really easily. So I cut it down to, you can see there, a couple inches larger than my Bible page. And then I can stick that there if I'm painting or gluing or anything messy and it doesn't get on the rest of the Bible. So I'm just going to stick that behind there because I'm going to glue this down. And I don't want to get any adhesive on the pages after this. And then I'm just using a regular glue stick, which is my favorite adhesive, especially right now. At back to school, go stock up because you can find them for like 25 cents a glue stick. I got these, I think at Walmart, I've seen has their back to school stuff out already. I haven't seen this stuff out at other stores yet, so check them out to get glue sticks. And then we're just going to lay her down. And the manual is thin, kind of like magazine kind of paper, so you do have to be careful with wrinkles. So I'm just going to lightly peel it up because that glue stick does allow you time to reposition things. And then try to get her as smooth as possible. And I think that's going to do it. And she is hanging over the edge a little bit, so I'm going to come back in with my scissors and just clean that up. But I can see getting a lot of use out of that mask, not just for cutting out images, but you could also use it if you want to put ink down, but you don't want ink to get outside of that margin. So that would work for that as well. All right, and because I did make it a little bigger, it does hang over in front of the tab. So I'm just going to use my craft knife and my ruler, but press just light enough to cut through that image, not through the divider. So I'll put a link in the description below to the Bible, to the Come Follow Me manual, the artist's information if you want to learn more about that. But again, we just made that mask out of basically recycled materials, right? It's just a piece of cardboard you already have. I think it turned out really pretty. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Click like if you like this video. Subscribe to see more. We do have more Bible journaling videos coming up soon. But thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.